Welcome to Conversation for the Soul. Today we have Diane Selinsky here. Diane is an artist, a poet, a bringer of light, a beautiful Renaissance woman. Welcome, Diane. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Allison. It's my pleasure to be here. My pleasure.
So wonderful. I have been watching you on Facebook now for probably a year, and it's always amazing to me how much you can really pick up on somebody's energy and feel a certain connection to them. And you are one of those people that just pulled me in. Your energy that you exude online, your connection to nature, all of those things. I just feel like I know you, and I'm sure we do know each other from another time.
Yeah, I suspect so. And thank you. I can't even promise I'm not going to cry during this podcast because I am a very sensitive being. And when somebody touches my heart, like with your kind words and what you said, I can feel it. It's like, oh, don't cry, don't cry. But thank you.
No, cry. It's beautiful, cleansing energy. I love it. So
I promise I won't.
Well, it's okay if you do. I'm good with that.
I see my lighting too. I hope the lighting's okay.
Well, at least you have a beautiful sunny day. So yeah. Let's start with, I'm curious to know how your awakening journey has unfolded. I know it's ongoing, as it is for all of us, but what really was the spark or the catalyst for you where you had this shift in your life?
Well, boy, there's been so many. There was a lot of traumatic events, a lot of deaths, one being my husband. But that I can't even say was the catalyst. I just went down with the ship when he died, in a way. Because I was already an expert at numbing myself at this point. Now we're going all the way back to 2007. So it wasn't good for, I think it was 2012 that I had to make a change because I knew if I didn't, I was going to die. And it probably wasn't going to be long. So I I took that step. I took the leap. I was petrified because I had never ever, this would be the first time that I'm alone without another person in my life. And that thought scared the hell out of me. I didn't believe that I could be alone or that I could make it alone. Or, it just was so new. I had a little dog, but that was it. But, doors opened up. I ended up getting an apartment in a place that I was afraid to even move to. And it has been such a blessing. I've been here 11 years now. And it's one of the biggest blessings ever, where I'm living now, because it enabled me. This was my place. It's like Creator set me somewhere to heal, to get sober, because I was not sober in any way, shape, or form, to heal, to get sober, to get my bearings, and to obviously awaken, because that's what has happened. But I was given that gift of the rest. I needed rest too. My heart, everything, my whole being needed the rest. So that was 2013. This all started, that I moved in here. And then I got introduced to Facebook in 2015. And once I got on Facebook, I learned the word empath. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's a million other people just like me. And I'm not as different and crazy and weird as I think that I am. That just flung the door open. because I had always thought my sensitivity was like a malfunction. Like it was not, it wasn't good. But I've come to learn like it's really my superpower, is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I've learned to embrace this. And the intuition, I'm very intuitive. And I think back now, like years ago, when it was obvious I was hearing it was my intuition, my higher self, but either I didn't know what was going on or I just chose to ignore it, stuff it. But now, I've come in tune with all that, and like the flower opening, that's what it kind of is.
Mm.
When the rose goes through those of opening, that's me. And it's a beautiful thing. Like before in my life, before all of this, the cup was always half empty, never half full. I was a worrier. I worried myself sick about everything, cried about it. Like I would start my day, and I've written poems about these things because the poetry really came full blast in 2017. It was like part of the flower opening. It just flowed out of me. And like everyone else that goes through this, I would be waking up every night, 2, 3 a.m. every night. And at first it was maddening. Like I wanted to kill somebody. And then finally I came to the place where don't resist it, use it. It's happening for whatever reason, or. So I started to use it and appreciate it. And now looking back on that, because it doesn't happen like that now, but that was such valuable time. Like that was the most precious, valuable time. Those early wee hours of writing, and like I would watch podcasts like we're doing now just to learn. And I would be taking notes. Like I was serious. I was going to do this.
It sounds like you were channeling, really.
When I read back these poems, I'm like floored that I wrote it. Like I remember writing it, but I read back at them like, wow, you had no idea of your gifts and what you have to offer people just by being myself. And I was like nervous to come on today because I really don't consider myself a public speaker yet. But if I'm supposed to be, I will do it. And I just heard, all you've got to do is just be yourself. It's that simple, sweetheart. And I was like, you're right. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. And here I am.
Well, you have such beautiful energy that I was drawn to you. Like I said, from the get-go, you feel like a long-lost sister of mine. Perhaps we were witches together in another life.
I had a meditation where I remembered being burned. So
yep.
That could very well be.
Yep, I feel that too. Just got truth bumps all over on that one.
Oh
now,
boy.
I'm going to go where I'm being led in this in our conversation. And if there's anything that I touch upon that you're like, well, I'm not ready to talk about that, that's completely fine, because we're just getting to know each other.
Right.
Now, back in 2012, and you went through your healing journey. Did you have to, were you a caretaker for your husband before he passed, or was it sudden?
His passing was sudden and unexpected.
Oh, that was so challenging. Yeah. So what were some of the first steps? Because I think this is really going to be helpful to a lot of people. What were some of the first steps you took on your healing journey? Your physical, like you're mourning, you're upset, you've lost your love, when did you say, okay, I'm going to take the first step? And what was that first step? And what were the following steps after that?
You mean the first step to get better?
Yeah. When did you go, oh shit, this isn't working, I gotta start healing myself? What did you do?
I walked out of an abusive relationship that, and I was petrified to be alone. And that was it. I was addicted, I was sick, and I was dying, Alleson. I was dying, and I knew I was dying. And I knew if I didn't do something, I was going to die. And I really don't want to. I didn't think it fair to my children to lose both parents. So I got out of there. I just got out of there. And it wasn't easy and it was scary. And like I had to chop wood.
Yeah.
I had to cut 2 feet grass with a piece of shit lawnmower that kept stopping. I mean, there were some hard times, but I made it. And then the door flung open to get the apartment that I'm in now, which was just perfect, you know, financially, location wise, everything. It was just perfect. And I know it was God. I mean, I just know, he knew I needed rest and the healing, all of it. Because up until that point of like 2012 walked away, 2013 moved in here. Up until that point, now I forget what I was going to say, but I couldn't heal in the environments that I had myself in. You can't heal in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
So like if it's volatile or unhealthy in any way, it makes it a lot harder or maybe impossible. And I didn't love myself, number one. That's something that I had to learn. I had to start pretty much with the inner child. It's hard to like fit all this in one show because there's so much stuff and I'm trying to condense it. But now I'm off point now. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, what specific steps? Is there any steps that you were just like, wow, when I did this one thing, it really just shifted everything? And maybe it's the moving out, but then what do you do after that? So you move out, you get out of the abusive relationship, you're alone. What's your next step?
I started meditating. And I started educating myself. You know, Facebook, like I said, just the memes and all that was a whole new world for me. And I didn't grow up in the computer age and all that. And I had never done any social media like other people. But that was just huge. And, you know, finding different teachers along the way and listening to their podcasts, listening to the teachings. I have like little vision boards up all over the place with just things that I hear, and I'll tack it up there, you know, one in the bathroom, one in the bedroom, one here, one there, where where you'll see it. But the meditation, that really helped me to control my mind better, get better grip on the thoughts, the crazy, the monkey mind going nuts. That helped a lot. But it didn't come immediately. And I think a lot of people try, they get frustrated and they give up. They think it doesn't work, but I knew it was going to work because it works for everybody else. But meditating can also be sitting under a tree. It can be taking a walk in the woods. It can be listening to the water, the brook babble. I mean, there's many ways to do that. What I'm speaking of, like a guided meditations where you're doing that. But like meditation was a big one. What else? The affirmations, like how you start your day, is a big game changer. Big game changer. So I'll start with like music or the positive affirmations. I I know I'm missing something huge. Ask me another question. It'll come.
Well, you know, and I think you touched on a biggie is nature. You look at so many people that don't even get outdoors into their own yards unless they got to mow it, you know. And there's just so much healing to be had in nature. Now, as
Right.
you're going through your meditations and you're starting to find peace and all of that, did you have any surreal or experiences? Like, did you have any visitations from anyone from another realm?
I've had a few orbs, but like I'm a feeler more than I see
Yeah,
things. Like I see it in my mind's eye, but
yeah,
not like
me
some
too.
other people. But I can feel like when my husband visits me per se, and he does quite often. I'll also with him, he developed this sign of fresh brewed coffee. Like when he comes, I will smell fresh brewed coffee and I
Oh,
be like walking in a snowstorm, you know what I mean? And I'm smelling like somebody's making coffee. And I'm like, what's up, Tom? So that, but it's like I feel it. And then I just know. It's just a knowing. And I know now not to doubt it. I've learned not to doubt this. I've learned to keep a lot of stuff to myself because people that don't understand just don't understand. So why, set yourself up for to be made fun of or to be, somebody down on you or whatever. But so I do keep a lot of stuff to myself. Um, I'm very, very aware now of our star family, I'm going to call them. Like I know when which they're pretty much around all the time here, but I can feel it.
do you know where they're from?
Mm, it really doesn't matter to me. I think they come from all kinds, they're from everywhere.
Yeah,
And I just know there's like so much to this existence here than what we have been led to believe.
oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
like when I came to the realization that pretty much everything that we were taught up until this point was not truth, I was angry for a while about that. I mean, that you got to, I have to add religion into that ball because I was raised like pretty strict Catholic. I had to go to the Catholic school, the private schools, wear the uniforms and all that. But when I realized that so much wasn't the truth, I was so pissed off.
Yeah,
And I was like, what is the truth? And so then I went on the quest for what is the truth? Where are the lost books of the Bible? Why was it hidden from us?
yeah,
It's so much stuff. So then there's that. But I think acceptance, learning to accept things as they are has really helped too. Not
yeah.
how I want them to be. That's a big one for me, at least.
Yeah. Well, and
Acceptance,
and
yeah,
accepting people for who they are too, because that, you know, when you first wake up, you want to share it with everybody, and everybody's looking at you like, "What are you talking about?" And then it's like, then you want to help people and change people, and it's like they can't unless they're ready. They have to walk their own path. They have to figure it out for themselves. That's a
right.
biggie too.
Just little tidbits. I find little tidbits in those instances go so much further than trying to explain a cloaked ship to somebody in the sky,
Yeah.
Like the Beatles. Was it the Beatles? Whisper words of wisdom and let it be.
Yes.
That
Beautiful.
works better, much better.
So, were you always an artist? or is your art something that came along with your awakening?
No, I've always been like very creative, even as a kid. I've always had a connection to nature, the stars, the sky, the night sky, the constellations, just all of it. And I was always told, get your head out of the clouds. You got to get your head out of the clouds. It's like, but I belong there. That's what I think. I belong up there.
Oh, funny.
And then, yeah. So, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, about your art. Well, what kind of art do you do? When did you start creating, I should say?
I've always loved to create. I used to remember picking different leaves and stuff and making designs with that, or flowers or feathers, whatever I could find. I picked up the paintbrush though. I think it was like not long after I started Facebook. So maybe 2018 or something, I started fiddling with the paints. I don't know, just when I'm in that creation mode, nothing's wrong. I'm not, everything's just a-okay. So I like to be in that creation mode. Or even like with the writing more so, but some of my best writing has come from some of my most painful experiences.
Yeah.
So that does have its place. And with the art, it's a way to get things out of you. Like before, it would be drink a shot, drink a beer. And that was the solution. Now, this color, that color, this color, that color. And it's something about the colors, like certain, I don't know, something about the colors. And that's another poem. Something about the colors. That's how it starts. I haven't put it all together, but let's talk about the energy healing too, because maybe there's somebody out there, that might be able to answer some questions for me. That when I do my energy healing, I always close my eyes when I send it, but it comes with a color or colors, but usually one. And I don't pick the color. And each instance is different. And I see it all, in my mind's eye. And I cocoon the color around the person. I've started to do that. Before I didn't, it just color did its own thing. But now I purposely cocoon whatever color I see around them. But I've never gotten an answer, or I don't know what the colors mean, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So, like, are you working on someone else? Or are you working on yourself when you see the colors? How does that work?
Other people, like when I'm sending the distance healing, like I've done level 2 Reiki attunement, but I was doing the energy healing before that. I thought maybe if I incorporated that, it might boost things or something.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think it did.
Yeah.
Because I see the results.
I'm really a firm believer in there's no do this modality by the book, do this modality by the book, do this modality by the book. I like taking bits and pieces from each one that resonate with me, that feel right to me intuitively, and just bring it all together and create whatever the scenario is that comes forth. And it kind of sounds like you're doing some of that with your color that's coming through during the Reiki healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beautiful.
I try not to question it too much and just let it be, It wants to be. It is. But I am curious about it.
Yeah.
And then the light language, that came along. It started with me with just singing and sounds. Like I'd be out walking, in nature on a path in the middle of nowhere. So I can make any weird sound I want. I can sing like a chipmunk or whatever I want to do. That's how that all started. That's been going on many, many years. Many, many years. Back in my religious days, I believed myself to just be speaking in tongues. And that's another subject. Like, I still wonder, what's the difference? It's all the same language with a different name, is what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. Oh, I
Different
absolutely agree with that. It's the same
explanation.
thing.
Yep. That's what I feel. So, okay. So I answered my own daggone question. That
So,
happens a lot.
well, that's good. That means you're figuring it out. That's awesome. So you have children. Are any of them following mom's lead on this whole spiritual path?
Yes, my one daughter. I have 4 children. I had a baby when I was 14 years old that I was forced to give away for adoption.
Hmm.
And that was something that tormented me since it happened. It's not now, but through all those years, I carried that with me. A lot of feelings about that. Long story short, she found me when she was about 25, I think, and we have, gotten to develop a relationship. So that there's her. I don't want to mention her name just because of privacy.
Right, absolutely.
Then when I got married, I had 3 more with my husband, Tom. So the very first daughter, this is the one. We got separated when she was a teenager. We got emotionally separated because of family issues, family problems. And with all of my issues and my problems and the road I was traveling, we just weren't in we didn't remain close. And it broke my heart, but, I let that happen too. So, but fast forward to today, one of those lessons in all of that was of letting go, because I tend to be an attachment type person. I didn't even know it was a thing until I learned that it was a thing. But then, when you examine yourself, like, oh man, yes, oh geez, yeah, oh wow, I got work to do. So the lesson was letting her go and attachment and all that. So, and it was excruciating painful to do, to let it go, let her go. But I did. And about 3 years went by. And, she was using that time to grow and change and heal herself. But I didn't know. I thought that was it for us. But I always, I never lose hope. I really never have lost hope on anything. I always have a glimmer of hope, Alleson. Everyone, don't ever lose hope. Always keep a glimmer of hope, because it's there. It really is there.
We just have to tap into it.
It's there.
Yeah.
So I forget how, but she contacted me somehow. I don't remember how. And not long after that, I realized we were both on the same path, just at different stages. It was like, yes, thank you. I'm so happy. So, but yeah, we're walking it now. And it's somebody for me to be able to, I can be myself because it's my daughter. And she can call me crazy all she wants. It's not the first or last time I'll ever hear that, right?
Yeah, right.
And it's just all good. It's all good. And I can see us probably working together someday in the future. And then I have another daughter who's not there. She's still just not there. But I have hope. I have hope, and I whisper words of wisdom and I let it be. And then I have a son who When his father died, like I said, it was unexpected, it was sudden, and it was a
Mm.
shocker. It tsunamied us all.
Oh,
It
I
just
bet.
it washed me away. I know that. And it did to them too. But he ended up he started getting in trouble. He started messing with like different substances. The police got involved, juvenile probation got involved, and they got their hooks in him. The system got their hooks
Mm.
in my son. They took him away from me for a while. Then when he hit 18, now you have to think 13 to 18, all those years in and out of these places, in and out of trouble, in and out of county.
Mm.
He continued on after he was 18. And it was all dumb stuff. Oh, it's just dumb little petty things that he would just happen to get in trouble for. But each time you compound your problem with the legal system. At least in my state, you do.
Yeah.
So he ended up, being locked up a good bit, but he's out now and he's been out for a good 4 years. But all of that time he didn't get his teenage years. I didn't really get to teach him much, like that you need to know how to survive in the world. So what he learned in these institutions.
Mm.
So, I knew it wasn't going to be easy for him, but, I'm there for him. My son has a lot of anger. He never got to grieve the death of his dad all those years later.
Yeah.
Ago, I mean, like it's been over 15 years that he's been carrying this.
Mm.
And I don't think he knows where to begin. And when we get to talking, if I go too deep or I hit a nerve, the anger pops up.
Yeah.
And then it just, and he blows. And this is like his pattern. I will say he has come a long way, and I see him trying. He's trying. So I do believe he'll get there. But I think it's not in the way that I did at all. Or, I mean, I know everybody's thing is different.
Yeah.
But I just have to trust and believe. It's just hard to watch things sometimes, being, with people that you love, especially when you know better, or so much. And it doesn't have to be that way for them. It's hard, but
It is very hard. But the beautiful
yeah,
thing about it is he's got you in his corner. So when he's ready, he has that support.
right,
You're just there in the wings waiting for him.
right. That's right.
And it will happen. Something will happen. It happened with my son. I was worried about him for years, where he was going, what was going on. And he had a traumatic breakup and suffered through infidelity and lies and money issues, and it was the catalyst for him to just shift. So
Makes me
it took
wonder what
30
the
years, but
catalyst.
it happened.
Well, mine isn't 30. I think he turns 28, 29 this year.
Yeah,
But
the
a lot of
20s
what
are
you
so hard.
mentioned.
Those
Well, like
boys
he's
have
so
a
far
hard time.
behind too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's kind of living his teens and early 20s. Like he
Yeah.
seems to be a decade behind.
Yeah.
And I know that his anger is just his pain.
Yes.
And I see that. But you know what? And it's also been a very good teacher for me, this situation on boundaries.
Yeah.
Learning boundaries. I've never been a big boundary person. Like I haven't. My animals are spoiled. So I need to work on boundaries. And that's been a good thing for boundaries. So, and practicing on loving and respecting myself, because I literally had to learn to love myself. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't at all. Like on my birthday every year, like my birthday's April Fool's Day, and I'd write myself a birthday message. And this was a noticing a big change or whatever. I had written, "Happy birthday, you old hag," for one of my years.
Mm.
And then, like, this is what I thought of myself. This is what I
Oh.
felt of myself. That was what I wrote to myself for that birthday.
Mm.
2 years goes by. I'm writing myself a message in my calendar. "Happy birthday, beautiful. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Do. And I remembered back on all of the previous birthday messages to myself. "Happy birthday, dumbass. Go ahead, screw up another year," or something, like just
Oh.
not loving oneself. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
What a game changer. What a game changer. And right back to meditation. It's by doing these meditations and doing it every day. I write, like, I have a tube of lipstick, old lipstick in my bathroom, where I'll write myself something on the mirror if it's important that I need to remember, so that it's in my face, whatever that week is, like, "You got this," or whatever. Like, there's notes, I pin stuff up, like reminders. That my mind, if you can't tell how I hop around like this. My kids are like, "Mom, you're ADHD." I'm like, really, I'm not. I said, if I'm not focused on what someone's saying to me and I'm not making eye contact, chances are I'm not. I'm somewhere else. So that's just me. I call it creative genius, is what it is.
Well, I would tend to agree, because putting those things around, we need reminders. And if you're by yourself and you got nobody to pump you up, you got to do it for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes I think that's part of the way of the empath too, is learning you're not alone as an empath,
Right.
and then learning that you have to love yourself and love yourself first.
Right. Well, it's taken a minute, but awareness is a big thing too. Once you start being aware of things,
Yes.
you're on it. And you make a mistake, you mess up, you do something, it's okay. Just like you would your best friend. Like, I've learned to treat myself like I would a friend that I just love dearly, or my daughter, or one of my kids. You don't pound them into the ground.
Mm.
You encourage, you say, "Okay, you messed up, but you could do this. You could start again. You got this. Don't give up." Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I deal with myself now. And my health, like my physical health, 110% improvement just with that alone. Like the nature, the meditation, just doing my best to do my best for me first and then others.
Yeah.
And loving myself, loving on myself.
And the rest you brought up is huge too.
Yes, the resting. But see, I struggle in that area, because there's a deep feeling of guilt that comes along with resting. And I always thought it was just a mother thing, or maybe even just a woman thing, but I'm finding out not so much. So I just have to, I give myself permission to do it. And then if I catch myself feeling guilty or thinking about, I should be doing my laundry, it's like, no.
Yeah.
You're gonna lay here. You're gonna let your body rest and rejuve. And then I'll go into imagining all my cells being happy and all that stuff. And it's working. I mean, I'm healthy. I'm very healthy. I feel great. It's all good.
It's awesome.
All good. And it's only getting better, sister. It's only getting better.
So I'm going to ask you if you have any of your poems handy, because I'd love for you to share one or two with everybody out there.
I actually did grab one. Because like I said, it's my connection with the trees. I do believe I was a tree, maybe even more than once.
Me too.
Maybe we were in the
I
same
love
field.
them.
That's what I decided to share this one. So,
okay.
Let me go now.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the bark on the tree that falls away, so do pieces of me every day. The old must go so that the new can emerge. And it's all coming with such a surge. Painful, yet though it must be, because the end result is a much better me.
Wow,
I love
that's beautiful.
Thank you. I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones because it's so true. If I don't let my bark, the old pieces of me fall away, how's the new bark going to come?
Yep, absolutely.
And yet sometimes it is painful, but it must be.
Do you have any of your art that you could share?
I do. Well, let me see. I'd have to pick you up, I guess. Actually, this one here I want to share with everybody and see what everyone thinks about this. Wait a minute. I don't know if I know how to turn it around here. Can you see it?
Oh, are all those yours?
Yeah, can you see them all?
I can see a lot of them. I like that. That's neat. That has a really strong energy to it.
Yeah, that one was definitely intuitively done.
But the one with the drips is beautiful too. Wow.
That was an accident, believe it or not.
It's a beautiful accident.
I agree. Once I saw it, I was like, oh no, we're not changing that. And this one here just sparkles, but you can't tell without the light. Oh. It just sparkles like crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm into like the colors.
It's the color. And the texture that comes through in it too. It has, and whatever you're doing, it has a message in it. I just can't really put it into words.
That's what my girlfriend said. She said, your paintings are encoded.
Yes. I can feel it.
Encoded. I was like, you know what? You're right. I didn't even realize. When she said it, was like she flicked the light on.
Yeah.
In my mind. Oh my goodness, Allison, that happens a lot too. Just like that click. And it's like, because I'm always saying now, I am remembering, I am remembering, I am remembering. I always say it in threes because I know we're remembering.
Yeah.
And I intend to remember.
Well, that's like, really a good, gosh, I just cannot form a sentence today. That's really a good practice for anybody because that's manifesting, and we do all want to remember.
Well, like all of our experience from each lifetime, if we can pull all of that together, are we supposed to have that much?
Yes.
Okay, well then I am remembering because I got shit to do, people. I am remembering.
Yes, we all do. We all do.
But yeah, I have a lot of rememberings, and I've had something new this week and I hope I'm not keeping us too long. If
Oh,
I'm going
no.
to say so. It was brand new this week. I decided to go outside, sit under the tree, and just be. No phone, no nothing. So I'm doing that. And all of a sudden, I become like, I guess I'll call it hyper aware of everything crawling on the ground around me. Like there were ants, there were different little bugs. My eyes were open. I was focused on the ground, and there was cement like over here. But the only thing I was aware of were and it was all at once. Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I was just aware of everything that was alive and going about their business. What these bugs do, the ants, they got a schedule or whatever they do. And all of a sudden I was like, wow. And I kind of like brought myself out of that and back to reality. I was like, whoa, that was cool. So I did it again. I was like, what am I doing? What's happening here? This is new. That was kind of cool.
That is cool. Well, it is part of the remembering.
Yeah.
You're starting to tap into something right there that you're going to remember what it is and be able to start using it. That's cool.
Working together. But faces, I see faces everywhere. I see faces in trees constantly. I see them in the rocks. I see them in the sky.
Yeah, me too.
Do you? Were you the one with the orbs flying through for a while there?
Yes.
I thought so. Is that still happening?
Yeah, not as much, which is interesting. But I found some at the end of my road in a pasture just today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep asking to see some, but maybe one will fly by now. Come on, orb.
Yeah, bring it. What I do is I turn the flash on my camera, sit in the completely dark room, and just turn the video on, and the light comes on, and then and it's usually I'll get a ping or some sort of knowing that says do this now, and I'll do it, and that's when I'll catch something. And then if I keep doing it, it really doesn't happen again. It's like, I know you're here. Boom, I got you. So maybe when your star family's around, or even your deceased husband,
Yes.
ask them to show up.
I have, but I never did it in the dark like that, like you said. I bet you if I lay there and sang my songs, I'd be surrounded.
Oh, I bet.
I'm gonna try that.
Yay. I can't wait to see. So if anybody would like to reach out to you, Diane, what's the best way to get a hold of you? And I'll post that below.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that. I guess email would be okay.
Okay. Or your Facebook too? Are you?
Yeah, that's fine.
On Facebook? Okay.
Yeah, I know that I have a lot of friend requests backed up.
Yeah.
Like a lot. But when I look through those, I take the time to see what that person's about.
If they're even a person.
Yeah, well, I've been fooled before. But
yeah, we all have.
I'm so backed up. Like, I don't care if we have mutual friends or not. If I'm not feeling it, I don't accept it. But
good for you.
I have a feeling there's a lot of people that might see this and be like, yeah, I friend requested her 72 weeks ago. Something. It's like, I'm sorry.
You'll get to it when you get to it.
Yeah, I need to take a whole day and just do that. But yeah, email. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
do you want me to say the email, or are you just going to put it?
I'll just post it below.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You can let me know what that is when we get off here.
What
All right,
else?
my dear. Well, anything else you'd like to share with everyone before we say goodbye?
Um, I don't, that everything is in divine and perfect order right now. That's really the only absolute thing that I know right now in this minute in my heart is that everything is in divine and perfect order right now. So go on out and have a good day. Go enjoy, celebrate, live,
Yes.
laugh.
That's why
That's
we
what
were
I'd like.
put here, to just immerse ourselves in all of this amazingness.
Right. And no matter where you stand, like if you're up to your neck in the muck and mire like I was, you can change it. You can. All you gotta do is try. One step. It seemed like when I took that very first step, the doors just started flinging open. So, and that's hope. I want to give people hope. Take the first step and the doors will fling open. And that you are loved because you are. You
Thank you
too,
so
Ellen.
much. Thank you so much. You're
You're
going to help
welcome.
so many people.
I
And I
hope so.
appreciate that.
And if we ever do this again, I've got a couple other subjects we could dive into.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, we will have to do that before the end of the year.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
again
Thank you.
for having
All
me.
right.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, guys.